you cry alone. This is a lonely journey, and it's a journey that nobody ever understands, you know? And it's a very humbling journey, and this will bring you closer to God. If you never believed in God, I don't know how you can start a business or run a business, Chase. I really can't,
Yeah.
because all faith resides on Him.
This podcast is sponsored by Action Coaching. If you're a home service business owner, ask yourself this: are you constantly chasing new leads or just keeping the business growing? Ben Jordan built a $100 million plumbing and HVAC company. Inside the Action Group, he teaches contractors how to create recurring revenue, strengthen leadership, improve sales, and build systems that reduce the owner's day-to-day involvement. Members get weekly coaching, practical templates, proven scripts, and strategies designed specifically for home service businesses. If you want to get out of the truck, build something that runs without you and creates real wealth, check out the Action Group on School and book your free consulting call.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Builders Bible Podcast. We are joined by Donnivin Brown today with Southern Comfort Heating and Air. Donnivin, thank you for joining the show, bro.
No problem, Chase, man. It's another day in the industry, another day in the trade, trying to make the best of it.
Yes, sir. Well, we're excited to hear about your company. Dude, if you don't mind, just give our audience maybe a little bit of your background. So how did you get into the industry, and what's sort of the creation story behind the company?
So, long story short, my grandfather, he did 21 years in the military. And so around the year 1999, 2000, he started our own little family business back in Georgetown, South Carolina, just doing heating and air just for the community, you know? And so he never wanted to be a big thing, you know, because he did 21 years in the military. He was a supervisor at a company called Santee Electric Cooperative. He was a big time guy there and worked for this company called H&S as well. So he was all around man with a great work ethic, man. And so I learned the trade for him. So I've been around it my whole life, just holding a flashlight or just going to the truck to grab tools and everything like that. So
Yeah.
when I got in, I'll say like 9th or 10th grade, I was roughly around 15, 16. That's when I really started taking heed to everything my grandpa was teaching me. So I knew I always wanted to own my own business, but I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Sure.
So I just ended up falling in love with HVAC, man, you know, just because of something, you know, my grandpa, he was a very great role model of mine and still is to this day. And you know, he just taught me the right way, like with integrity and just, you know, seeing people smile after we fix their air conditioning system, man. So I actually love that. And I love the conversation and actually meeting new people. So that's why I just really took off with it, man, and got in, you know, I dove deep into my craft, right? And so after that, I started up Southern Comfort. My grandpa was like, hey, go out and work for someone else and, you know, see the ropes of how business is actually ran. So I moved from Georgetown to Greenville, South Carolina, worked for a company out there called Carolina Heating Service, where I made myself a valuable person. I also got not licensed, but certified to work on Generac generators.
Yeah.
Generac generator, maintenance them. I was also a service technician. They also could have moved me to the install side of HVAC or the install side of generators. So I made myself very valuable because I feel like that was very critical in the time span that I had set out for myself for me to launch out and go into business on my own. So in 2018, 2019, somewhere up in there, me and my wife, we got our first van. And not only that, the company I was working at, the owner, he was selling it to a private equity company called Near You. And so during that time span, man, I just was like, I just took a leap of faith. So the name of the company was actually called Southern Comfort HVAC and Handyman Services, right? So the handyman services was like gutter cleaning, lawn care, pressure washing, and everything like that. But it was just my ticket to get into the home so I can really offer HVAC services, right? But anyways, long story short, that worked out for a little while. And then me and my wife, we decided to move to the number one air conditioned city in the entire world, which is Houston, Texas, where we are now. And it's been a It's been a faith journey, man. We took off cross country with me, my wife, and our 1-year-old Elias at the time, and we just took God's faith, sold our home that we built from the ground up, which was only
Oh
like
my gosh.
2 years old. Yeah, we built it, and I was like, man, are we really letting this go? So yeah, so we was living good. I was doing pretty good, working at Carolina and everything like that. But it was just time for me to take a leap of faith because the biggest thing, I couldn't live with myself when I'm 50 something years old and I didn't take this opportunity. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or take this risk, I didn't want to be that elderly guy that looked back and said, man, I should have done this.
Mhm.
Because you look back at life, you just got time. Time is everything, but you got to use your time valuable. And I didn't want to look back when I'm 50, 60, 70 years old, like, man, I should have took that risk. I would have been here. So I took the risk. So here I am today, went through a lot of adversity getting through this. Some people thought I was crazy,
I'm sure they did.
but it was just one of those things that, I had to keep to myself on this journey. And my wife believed in me. And so here we are today, growing company, just learning the market, just learning the business, steady learning, just being in great groups, man, networking, talking with other business owners. I'm not afraid to ask questions. And
Yeah.
that's what I see a lot of contractors, they are afraid to ask questions and everything like that. But I'm not. I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to attend certain events so I can go there and ask more questions, and, just seeing the right people to work with. So, we're in a good position. We're steady growing, little hiccups here and there, but I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, Chase.
Dude, that's so cool, man. This is inspiring. I mean, just for you to know, so my wife and I are about to have our first baby, and bro, I can't imagine moving across the country right now. I don't know how you did that. That is wild. You must have really believed in your dream. I do got to ask. So, I mean, you mentioned a little bit about kind of the growth process, but talk to us. I mean, what was that like? Like day one, I imagine you're just trying to get your first client. And then what does kind of growth look like up until today, from, I guess, a
Yeah.
revenue standpoint or size of the team, whatever way you want to take it.
So basically, man, it was just me when we finally launched out on our own in like 2022, and then we carried on to 2023. 2023, it was like a big hit because we actually partnered with a property management company that
Dude, that was probably huge.
yeah, that worked out pretty good. But, we finally found a property management company that wasn't going to undercut us. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of these property management companies, they just want everything for basically what we're paying for. You get what I'm saying?
Just
So,
bare minimum.
yeah, they want the bare minimum, right? So I was like, man, we finally found one. And so we went out there. They was like, hey, we need your help. We got a lot of houses down that don't have any air conditioning, AC at the time, and we need your help to fill these orders. So we went out there, started sending in the work orders of everything that we were finding or that I was finding, and they started approving it. So I was like, okay, good. I was like, God is good, But days before that, man, the grind that I don't share a lot that people didn't see was that I wrote down a list of like 50 property management companies, right? And I would call like 5 a day. You get what I'm saying? I call like 5 a day. I still have that book. I have it in my attic because I'm kind of like record my whole journey. So
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah, I wrote down like 50 property management companies and I called like 5 a day for weeks straight.
Wow.
And then I started getting hits. I started filling out the forms and everything like that. And one of them hit back and was like, hey, we need you right now, like right now. And so Southern Comfort just took off. So from July to December that year, we did like $656,000, and that was just
Oh my
me by
goodness.
myself.
Dude, what a one-man show? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I did 656 grand, and
You probably were working 12 or 15-hour days, right?
yeah, I was. It was like 6 o'clock days and 10 or 11 p.m. sometime 12 a.m. nights because I had property management also mixed in with my Google business profile, which I wasn't investing in any type of SEO, anything like that then, just had a basic setup.
Yeah.
and calls were still coming in on that end. So I still had to handle those calls, and it leading to a lot of late nights. But I was just wore out, man. And I just, went and set pricing up the best of my ability. But, we did great. So the next thing was like, I started praying. I started asking God, like, hey, I don't want to stay in this property management thing forever. I want to grow outside of property management and, just have build a customer base outside of that, just getting back in the community. And then when I was praying for that, during that time, they were like, yeah, Donovan, you did a good job. You helped us get a lot of our, Southern Comfort, you did a great job. You helped us get a lot of our houses back up. Our regular team can take care of it from here. If we need you, if it explodes again, we'll be sure to reach out and give you a call. So it was like, dang, okay. So that went good. I'm back to square one, got money in the bank. Didn't really know too much about marketing. Didn't really know too much about, business financing at that time, anything like that. So I was like, okay, cool. So I started networking, asking questions, and I knew that marketing was like a big lever, and
Totally.
thing I didn't know at the time was that marketing is one of the biggest legal scams in the home service industry by far. And I got hit like twice, one company, and then I got with another company. The sad part is about the second company, man, they even used to do prayer before we even start like going over it. I never asked for that. Like they put God in it. I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, dude, they used to pray and all this and dude, and it was crazy. I was like, wow. So today I look back at it like, man, these people don't really care anymore. They use God in it and everything like that. And, they're just doing these belligerent things, taking
Yeah.
advantage of people, man. And, I had to watch that, and I had to learn how to start being a businessman is stop wearing my heart on my sleeves, And so that was the one way I learned. But, after taking a $30,000+ loss, I was out of my pocket, no type of loans or anything like that. That was a big hit because I worked hard for that money.
Yeah.
Stayed up late nights, time away from my family and my wife to
Dude,
to
yeah.
to do the right thing and make it the right way. And you got these a marketing company that just prey on contractors, man, and I don't think it's fair. I honestly feel like they should be some type of laws when it comes to that, because it's you see it every day. Like a lot of these contractors, they go through 3 or 4 marketing companies, and the first 2 or 3 just straight up scammed them out of their money. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just sad. But what do? We just know how to go out there and, take care of the customer, troubleshoot a system, go over to install with our install team, and, know the HVAC side of it, but we don't know the marketing side of it. And me, after really going back and gaining knowledge and everything, man, SEO and all those other type of marketing things, they're really not that hard.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is that being that, you're a business owner, you can't do marketing and try and run an HVAC business at the same time. It's just not going to mix. And, me studying marketing and everything like that, SEO, local SEO and PPC and all that different type of stuff. I just feel like if I had the right time to do that and also run a business, I can definitely kill it for my own self. But I can't. I'm not a robot, right? So that's something I had to pass over to myself. But, just taking a $30,000+ hit, and my wife she's like, that was like the second time. And she's like, Donovan, she started not to believe in marketing. You know what I'm saying? So we ended up partnering with another great another marketing company that was.
You gave it a third go, didn't you? That's awesome.
Yeah, we got referred out to another marketing company that was referred to us by some reputable HVAC contractors in the industry. And somebody who I met too at Home Service Freedom, and we built a great, awesome relationship. His name is actually Eric Thomas, great guy, and he really wants to see us win. And it takes time. Right now we're playing the long game. When I lost all that money, I had to jump into the PPC game, and it was just a different route, man. The PPC game, I had to spend a lot of money, to get leads and everything like that. But at the same time, we had a great closing percentage on it. You get what I'm saying? Converting those leads and everything like that, because it just has to make sense. But, you know, what I found right now is just talk with other contractors, just playing the long game. And, you know, there's a lot of companies out there that don't do any PPC at all. They're doing 7, 8+ million a year. You get what
Yeah.
I'm saying? You never invested a dollar in a PPC, you know?
Right.
So that's what I'm looking forward to. Just playing the long game and, you know, just ranking number one in the local map pack, man. That's my main, you know,
Yeah.
goal right now is that once I get there, it's just really on me to really convert, create some great systems and processes within my business and, you know, to see everyone succeed.
This episode is brought to you by Corberry Digital. If you own an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, or home service business and you're tired of wondering where your next lead is coming from, you need to check out Corberry Digital. Corberry specializes exclusively in helping home service companies dominate their local markets through SEO, Google Ads, local service ads, websites, content marketing, and lead generation systems that actually produce a measurable ROI. Their team doesn't just focus on clicks and impressions. They help contractors lower customer acquisition costs, increase qualified leads, and build a marketing engine that scales. What I like about Corberry is they understand the blue collar space. They aren't trying to be everything to everyone. Their entire focus is helping trades businesses win in their backyard and generate more profitable jobs. If you're looking to grow your business, improve your online visibility, and build a marketing system that works, visit Corberry.com and schedule a strategy session with their team. That's Corberry.com. Tell them you heard about them on the podcast. What's up, everybody? This podcast is sponsored by Grimes Financial Advisors. You've spent time and energy building a successful business, but here's the question. Do you have a real retirement plan or just a pile of investments? Our friends at Grimes Financial Advisors specialize in helping business owners and families create a clear roadmap for retirement through their proprietary retirement blueprint. Instead of focusing only on investments, they look at the entire picture: income planning, taxes, long-term care, legacy planning, and making sure your money is actually working for the life you want to live. I've gotten to know Dustin personally. One of the things that I respect most about him is he believes every financial decision should fit into a bigger plan. You shouldn't just chase returns. So whether you're 5 years from retirement or simply want a second opinion on your financial strategy, I highly recommend reaching out to Dustin and his team. Visit Grimes Financial Advisors to schedule your consultation and start building your own retirement blueprint.
Yeah. Dude, you said so much there that's good. I can't agree more. It's interesting because there are some certain marketing companies that can really kill it for you, but dude, you do got to be careful. I've heard so many people that have been burned. I almost just feel like there needs to be some sort of like money back guarantee tied with anything, you know, but it just is what it is. I think a lot of marketing companies, like you said, they promise so much and they just completely underdeliver. So right now, as we stand today, what does your team look like? I assume you're not a one-man show anymore, right?
No, we're not. So we're a 3-man show, me, and I have 2 other technicians. I'm not actually not in the field anymore. I attended
Okay, so
home
you're
service.
fully removed from the boots on the ground.
Yeah, I'm no longer the boots on the ground. I mean, the only thing I'm doing right now is that I'm still going out quoting jobs, but I never bring out any tools anymore. But I'm just creating a killer sales process, you know,
Yeah.
one that I know that works for my business. So that way, when I bring someone on to be a salesman for Southern Comfort Heating and Air, I want them to follow this process, and I want to have the numbers to back it up. And it's going to start with myself. But you know, but the biggest thing is always hiring somebody that's better than Donovan. You get what I'm saying? Get clothes better than me. That's always the ideal. But I just feel like it's very critical that I put my hands everywhere around this business at first. You know, I touch every spot. So that way I'll say every department in this company. So I'll know like what it takes. Like I've been there. This is what I've seen. And just me getting somebody in that position that can do it better than me, 2 or 3 times better than me, 10 times is even better, you know? So it's just about putting faith in other people. So yeah, it's me and 2 other technicians. I'm bringing on another 3rd technician here probably later on this year, or probably going into spring or the peak next year. I'll probably bring him on. And, you know, it's a guy, he's actually right there on that board back behind me. His name is Bryce, man. He always hits me up. He's like, man, I'm ready to come work for you. He said, I see your trucks all around. And he just said, I look at you guys' reviews, and that's something that I want to stand behind. and
Yeah.
everything like that and be a part of. So, I actually had to print out that picture. I actually had to meet him because he always texted me. He always let me know like, hey, I'm here. I'm ready when you are. No rush. I understand business and everything like that. So, that gives me the itch. Those people like that wants to come on instead of somebody that just send a resume in and they just disappear. Those are the type of guys that I'm looking for. Those are the type of guys that I'm going to hire. I told myself the first 100 people for Southern Comfort, I want to handpick them myself. So
Yeah.
that's my goal until it gets to a point to where I have to, go another route. But yeah, so last year we finished it roughly at 1 million, roughly 1,030,000, somewhere up in there. So
Wow.
our target goal this year is 1.5, but our stretch goal is 2 million. So we're on track. We had some pretty weird weather, here with all this rain and everything is kind of
Yeah.
making.
Because you guys probably need it to be hot, right?
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, man, if it's cool out, it's a lot of rain. It's pretty sure there are still leads out there, but they're going to the people that's shown up in the top of the backpack, right? So that's where I'm itching to be in with my marketing and everything like that. So we're getting there, but yeah, everything is demand driven. So no matter if it's heating, if it's heating season or AC, everything is always demand driven. Based off the weather. So long as the weather's up, the sun is up, and we're having consistent peak season, like going into June through September, then it's really in that season. But we're getting there. Can't complain. We're just trying to dial in our systems and processes, Chase.
Yeah.
Feel like a lot of people overlook that. The biggest thing is me just dialing in our systems and processes, focusing on marketing, make sure our marketing team is doing the right thing and everything like that, and staying on them, and just dialing down on operations, man. I feel like that is very key. And also, also knowing our numbers, me as a business owner, I'm getting better at that and understanding, there's business owners that have been in the game, 10, 15, 30 years, and they still don't know their numbers, right? So
Right.
I just feel like the biggest thing with me right now is understanding marketing, knowing our numbers and understanding marketing. So that way, when marketers get dialed in, we don't have to worry about the phone ringing, right?
Yeah.
The biggest thing is, when it comes to the trades is if the phone is going to ring. So I feel like once we get to that part to where we don't consistently have to worry about, hey, when is the phone going to ring? I feel like that's going to create other avenues for me to go in and dial down on certain systems or process. Because if the phone is not ringing, you can't go in and pull certain levers. You get what I'm
Right.
saying in your business, because it don't make sense. Like, it's not what makes sense for you to put a system and process together for, let's just say an in-home process or something like that when it come to like your technicians going out there, which we already have one, a killer in-home process as well. But you can't really dial it in and see what's the different aspects, because each technician is going to run into different objections, right? So it's really hard to kind of like fine tune something like that if your marketing is not making the phone ring. You're getting all these different objections or all these different
Right.
types of customers, so you can go back and dial it in. You just kind of have to stay put until everything start coming in, so my focus can come off that and really focus on the business side of the business. I mean, the inside of the business part. But other than that, yeah, I'm not touching any tools anymore, man. I'm focused. I feel like I hear a lot of people say, whenever you grow, it gets hard. But I just feel like the hard part, Chase, is getting up off the ground.
Yeah. Yeah. Just starting.
Yeah, just starting. And, I understand, like, I just feel like getting off the ground is the hard part. A good marketing company and not everything is like 2 levels, like hard. And then once you got all that and you got off the ground, you got a great marketing company growing to 2 and 3 million, 4 to 5 million and so on. I just feel like that is just the hard part of business, right?
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
basically you just going back in, dialing in your numbers or going up, raising your profit margin. You get what I'm saying? Seeing what your cost per customer is, or, acquisition for pretending like for gaining a customer. Just know those type of numbers and everything like that. that's what's going to fine tune is going to come in so you can correct all those margins so you can put that into growth, right? And everything like that. So yeah, I just feel like I'm just at the hard part now. And once I get to the hard part, it'll just be about growth. But my long-term goal within the next 8 years is to get it up to 10 million. You know, I have a $10 million vision. And after I hit 10 million, Chase, you know, God gave me this platform, not only for me, but, you know, for other people as well, for employees and also for the customers. I'm not doing it just all about the money. The money's just a plus that come with it, but I'm not going to be here for a long time. I'm only here for a good time, Chase. You know, you know, once we're born, we got to die. So the biggest thing is that I need to leave a stain on earth. You get what I'm saying? And that's with everybody, and that's through Southern Comfort. So, and with my boys and everything like that. So God just gave me this platform to touch lives, man. And like I tell everyone else, I want to use Southern Comfort as the gym. Whenever you work here, a dispatcher, CSR, you know, I want you to feel enlightened. I want you to feel, you know, the gratitude that comes from me. I'll never be the boss that walk around like I'm the head honcho. I'll never want that. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've seen some bosses that act like that, which is not good. Not good for the company, because I always told myself I don't want people working around me that's feel like they got to step on eggshells.
Right. Yeah, that's never fun for anyone.
Yeah, if I feel like you got to come around me, or you not hire you and you're stepping on eggshells, that's not good. I need to fix something. And I want everybody around me to be able to call me out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. You know, I want, if my CSR, my dispatcher's like, Donovan, I know you tell us to do this, but we found out like it's better for me such and such to do it this way. I'm cool with that. You get what I'm saying? But as long as it makes sense, and, you know, once we start bringing on more people, they can understand that process. You get what I'm saying? So it's a team thing, man. I just feel like most businesses, man, listen, one thing I learned is that you want to build a great business, you can't do it alone. And the people that's going to build a great business for you is going to be the ones that honestly you put your trust into, and the ones that, you know, that's like, you know what, Donovan looked out for me. I'm going to make sure he keeps me happy. You know, I was able to buy me a new car. I got me and my family a better home, you know, and, you know, he believed in me. He made that happen. So, you know, I have to do that in return. Just off statistics, man, when you have people that's happy, they're going to come in and do tenfold for you inside the business.
Completely agree. Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I'm a big believer. And I feel like one of the things that changed the world too is just them taking, you know, the Bible out of school. But, you know, the Bible is going to be in Southern Comfort. You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to make it
awesome,
like a big strict thing. But we're going to start every meeting off with prayer. We're going to do everything. You get what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, whenever you leave here, I want you to say like, yeah, you know, I'm a better man. I'm a better woman, or, you know, I'm a better wife or a better friend. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm building. So Southern Comfort is going to be the gym. Whenever people leave here to go home, they can go home and they can go home. You get what I'm saying? I believe in family time. I don't believe in people taking work home. Now, of course, as the business grows, sometime that may change, but you know, they got AI and everything like that now, to where you can have or if you have House Call Pro, they have House Call Pro Assist, where a live agent can enter and take the call for you and everything like that. But the biggest thing is we'll roll it over to that, and then just have another manager or myself on call, to where a call like that comes in where someone needs to talk to a manager or something like that, they can forward it over to us. You get what I'm saying? So it's just about, I'm building this business on the behalf of respecting people also in their time away from work. You get what I'm saying? So it's about creating a balance. And even though me growing this business, I didn't have the best balance myself, as far as being a dad, being a husband, you know, as far as being a friend or a leader. You get what I'm saying? This is a lonely ride, man. This is a lonely ride. I don't have a lot of friends, you know, to be honest. I cry to myself a lot. This is, you know, a lot of people are afraid to say that, but hey, lay it out to you, man. I'm just the type of man I am, you know. You cry alone. This is a lonely journey, and it's a journey that nobody ever understands, you know. And it's a very humbling journey, and this will bring you closer to God. If you never believed in God, I don't know how you can start a business or run a business, Chase. I really can't,
Yeah.
because all faith resides on Him.
This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker. They only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team.
So that's what I'm building here, man. Something different, something unique. You get what I'm saying? Something very diverse too. You know, just I want to be just like a melting pot, just like Houston. Houston is a melting pot. It's very
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, whenever you look around the world, Chase, and you look at just going off topic right quick, whenever you look around the world, Chase, and you look at the top cities or that produce the most revenue in our country here in the United States, the biggest thing that you see is diversity. You get what I'm saying? And you know, once you have a melting pot of groups of people in these big cities, GDP is gonna go up.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So that's just a natural statistic. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can have one side of here, one side of here is never going to match the GDP of some place that's very diverse. And everybody's like that is living, you know, affordable life. They live in, the median income is the 150,000, 180,000, you know, and everything like that. So that's, I pay attention to those statistics, and no matter what, I just believe in a big man above that everything is going to come to pass, you know. Manifestation, you know, Chase. So
I love that, dude. That's so encouraging. It's also cool to think that your son's going to get to grow up and see the journey that you went on. And I don't know, man, I really believe, especially with a lot of the tech and AI and stuff, I feel like HVAC is a phenomenal industry to be in right now, especially like a lot of guys in the next generation, you know, just grew up with only tech and probably don't really have skilled labor. So I think it's going to be a huge demand, and y'all are in the best possible market in the United States. So
it's definitely going to be a demand increase. You know, the biggest thing is that, man, you got to be built for the trades. The trades is just not one of those things to where you're just going to come in and just think like, yeah, I'm going to kill it at HVAC. I'm going to kill it at this, or, you know, you have to deal with the weather. It's challenging days. You get what I'm saying? If I can tell anybody that's looking to get into the trades, the first thing that I would tell them is, if you don't go to school, find a company that'll hire you hands on and go show your face. You get what I'm saying? Go show your face multiple times, you know, get the hiring manager's phone number, keep calling him once a week or once every 2 days. You get what I'm saying? Until they give you that opportunity. And whenever you get the opportunity, start off in the install. Don't be a tech, because everybody out of school right now want to be a technician. Why? Because you got all of these people that's online telling you like, hey, you can own an HVAC business and be a multi-millionaire and everything like that. And, you know, it just blowing the game over and doing all these crazy things and everything like that. And the money is just triggering people. Yes, you could come in and make great money, but the biggest thing is that you have to crawl before you walk. And, you know, I'll tell anybody, like, start off on the install side, start off on the install, you learn how to wire, braze, they'll set up these systems and everything like that. You'll start knowing the codes for the area that you live in. You get what I'm saying? Once you start learning the codes for the area that you live in, you'll start learning the type of system that you're working on. All these HVAC systems have the same process, no matter if it's single stage or variable speed. You get what I'm saying? And
Absolutely.
they all go through the same stages. But yeah, I'll tell them that, man. Start off on the install side, then work your way up, stay there for about 2 years, then go to the service side, and just work your way up from there.
Yeah, I love it, man. Well, Donovan, this has been so fun, dude. I really appreciate you just being so vulnerable. I can tell you're a humble guy too, which is rare in this world today. So our audience can find you on callsoutherncomfort.com. What about social media? Do y'all have Instagram or other socials?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, our customer can find us at callsoutherncomfort.com, or they can find us on Facebook too at Southern Comfort Heating and Air Services as well. Or if you're in the area, you're in Houston or, Sugar Land or Richmond, you can Google Southern Comfort Heating and Air Services, and we'll be able to get a technician out to you that cares to take care of you and not only just trying to take your money.
Right.
That'll really provide you an option and show you what's going on with your HVAC system. But as far as reaching Donnivin, you could just reach me on Facebook at Donnivin Brown, or you could reach me by email, which is dbrown@callsoutherncomfort.com, and I'll get back with you as soon as I can. But yeah, Chase, other than that, man, that's pretty much it about myself. Just hardworking, dedicated,
I can tell, brother. Your story is inspiring, and yeah, once you hit that 5 or 10 million mark, we'll bring you back on and hear all the updates, and you can walk us through what's happened the last few years. So, but thank you so much for joining the show, man, and thank you everyone for tuning in. We will see you guys next time.
Later, guys.